Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff Helsing, Director of the Better Evidence Project here at the Charter School, and I'm also a research associate professor. And it's a great privilege to welcome all of you to this session on Tuesday morning. I'm going to use my mask as much as possible because I've been in two of the most populous European airports for the last 72 hours. So one out of those. President Biden has declared the pandemic over in this country. I can assure you that's what I was. That being said, this is really a session about the future. And it's about the future of local peace building or community-based peace building. The Charter School was asked in the late spring by the program IREX, which is the International Exchange Program, to host fellows from their Community Solutions program. The Charter School had never done this. But we had heard of this program. We certainly knew of IREX, and a number of us had worked with IREX in the past. So the dean very quickly jumped on this invitation, and three of the centers, including the Better Evidence Project, agreed to host these fellows who will be talking about their work. And they've been here for just about a month. And I hope the program and their work here has been as enjoyable and valuable as it has been for the Charter School community. They've been terrific colleagues, and they have quickly settled into life here at the Charter School. What the IREX program, the Community Solutions program, does, it is actually a learning program, a mentorship program, and an application program. It really is a very important and virtuous learning cycle. Our 5 IREX fellows are part of a class of over 100 young community peace builders between the ages of about 25 and 35. And they are spread throughout the United States. There are many here in the Washington, D.C. area, but they are out in Oregon, in Chicago, in Fort Worth, Texas, appended to community-based organizations or programs that are working at the community level in the United States or overseas. And what the program is doing is enabling the fellows to come and contribute to the programmatic work of their host, but also that gives them an opportunity to learn from the host about the kind of community peace building tools that are used, the skills that are developed, and some of the strategies and tactics that are part of the successful operations of their host partners. In doing this, the idea is that for the 4 months that they are here, they are strengthening their own capacity for building peace building projects, initiatives in their own communities. Once they return, they are then developing and implementing a 6-month project to achieve some contribution to, in their case, peace and conflict resolution. I should mention that peace and conflict resolution is one of 4 specific areas that they, or thematic areas that the fellows can concentrate on. The other 3 are environmental issues, transparency and accountability, and women and gender issues. All of our fellows come to the Carter School because of our focus here on peace and resolution. So we've been just delighted to be part of this for the first time. I hope it's been as valuable for our colleagues as well. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and introduce them each very briefly. And then we've given them a bit of time to talk about what it is they're working on, what they're doing here, but also what their plans are for their return back to their respective communities. So to begin, to my right, our first presenter will be Simona Marcinkova. She is a participant teacher for Teach for Slovakia, where she comes from. Simona has experience teaching at the elementary school level, and she's done so in the marginalized Roma community, which is located in the largest Roma settlement in Slovakia. She's focused on teacher empowerment in helping teachers work with students from socially disadvantaged environments. She's working with Professor Karina Korostelina and her team in the Peace Lab on reconciling conflict and intergroup division. She is joined in the same Peace Lab with the gentleman to my left, Karam with Zaanin, and he hails from Gaza in Palestine. And he is Communication for Development Officer for the Ma'an Development Center. And Karam has experienced the implementation of communication strategies through behavioral development and social mobilization, particularly of civil society organizations. Third, to follow Karam will be Yonathan Jimenez. Jonathan is a human rights legal officer for Bufete Profesional Jimenez in Jimenez, which I assume is a legal. Jonathan has worked providing support through hearings for children and adolescents who are victims of abuse, violence, and family disintegration. He plans to implement a program that includes the participation of family members to eradicate violence keeping parents school. And Jonathan is working with the Mary Hoch Center for Reconciliation here at the Carter School. And then in between Karam and Jonathan is Ullah. She also comes from Gaza in Palestine. And she is co-founder of the Me Too Gaza initiative. And Ullah has been working to address challenging community issues by facilitating sessions to raise awareness on harassment. She plans to co-found one of the first Middle East initiatives for conflict management, peace building, and transformation from an inclusive women's perspective. And Ullah is working with the Better Evidence Project, as is our final speaker, which is Niamat Ullah, and Niamat comes from Bangladesh. And now that I just noted that I mentioned he's from Bangladesh, I forgot to mention that Yonathan is from Guatemala. So his work and his focus is on work he's been doing in Guatemala. Niamat has been the lead on curriculum, project and community development for Surge Bangladesh, a local NGO, and he has worked to implement peace building by developing curriculum and learning modules, conducting training and managing projects through community engagement. Ultimately, Niamat is working to establish a peace center to train youth for peace building, education, community cohesion, and inclusion. So as you can see, they're all engaged in really both important but very interesting and engaging projects. And this really is a very much a learning sort of program overall. just as much as we hope they're learning from us collectively, we all have much to learn from them. And so I hope you will be interested to learn more about what they're doing as they present their particular projects. Simona, please start. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for introducing us. I will start the presentation as the first time, and I call it Community Solutions in Peacebuilding. And I will first start, it's a bit slow, but yeah, telling you something about myself and where I come from, who I am. And as Jeff mentioned, my name is Simona Marcinkova. I come from Slovakia, which is a very small country in the eastern part of Europe. For the past years, I've been studying, I have bachelor from translation and interpreting of French and Portuguese language, also a bachelor from social work and master from humanitarian work. So that's what I was doing back in Slovakia. And when I finished studying, I decided to go to IREX for 3 years, where I was working as a field coordinator in a small clinic or a small hospital in the camp for internally displaced people, for Yazidis. And when I was working there, me and a few of my friends, we decided to start a small, at that time, small non-profit organization, which focused on providing healthcare in humanitarian and post-humanitarian context. In 2015, when I was there, we had just one small project in Iraq. Now we have few teams operating in Iraq, Syria, and Ukraine as well. This is my volunteering job. I am in the board of the organization, of STEPIN organization at the moment, but I'm also doing it like in my free time or spare time on the weekends. So this is what I was doing for the past years. And also, as Jeff already mentioned, when I came back from Iraq, I decided to join Teach for Slovakia, which is a branch of Teach for All, which started in America. And it's a 2 years long leadership program, based in Slovakia. And I was teaching for 2 years in the elementary school in Košice in Unit 9, which is like the biggest Roma settlement in Slovakia. During these 2 years, participants should gain some experience from the reality of education system in Slovakia, so that later when they finish the program, they can continue as alumni or ambassador, as we call them in Slovakia, and they can start to work in very different positions, or either in the government or the non-profit sector, and then they can improve the education for their children, particularly for the Roma community, which we work with in Slovakia. Yes, well, let me tell you a little bit about Roma community in Slovakia. There is more than 5 million people living in Slovakia, and we have 500,000 Roma people living in Slovakia. Mostly, as you can see on the photos, they live in very difficult environments. They are discriminated in various ways. Mostly, it's in education, healthcare, and employment. They are segregated, and they live on the outskirts of the towns, of the villages, in like, as you can see, like mostly like destroyed buildings or like small slums or small settlements. So the housing is the biggest issue, one of the biggest issue. There is lack of access to clean water. They live in slums, or there is high rate of different addictions like drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and of course generational poverty plays a big role in their lives. So for the past 2 years, I was working as a teacher, and I wanted to join Teach for Slovakia because I wanted to see by myself, in reality, how is the educational system in Slovakia for Roma children. How does it work? Where are the challenges? How can I help to improve it in the future? And I want to just experience it by myself. And I will not lie, it was not easy. These children, they come from, as I said, from very difficult environment. Often they come to school hungry. Sometimes they don't come to school because they don't have clean clothes or they don't have clothes at all. Their starting point in life is not, well, we cannot even compare it to Slovak children, because when they join the school at the age of 6, most of them, they don't speak Slovak language. They speak Roma language. And in our education system in Slovakia, we have mostly just Slovak teachers. So, for example, at the school where I was teaching, we had 900 Roma students. It was only Roma school, it was for Roma children. We have only Slovak teachers. We have few Roma teaching assistants who were sometimes helping, but it was mostly Slovak teachers. And it brings another type of challenges to the classroom. For example, issues sometimes we don't understand students, mostly the younger ones. There is a lot of issues with the curriculum because it's just in Slovak language. We don't have any Roma curriculum so far. And also teachers struggle with support, well, from the government, from the director of the school. There is a very little support for the teachers, so they have to prepare everything by themselves, like all the curriculum and all the materials. In Slovakia, only 51% of children continue education after the elementary school. Most of them, they drop out very early and they just don't finish the education. And only 25% of Roma children from age 3 to 6 take part in preschool, which, as I said, then comes with challenges of, for example, language barrier, like student development as a teacher, and many additional challenges. I love being a teacher for 2 years. But yeah, since I became the alumni of Teach for Slovakia, because I just finished my second year back in July, I decided to join the IREX fellowship, and we just already explained everything about it, but yeah, it's like 4-month fellowship, and then we are supposed to implement the community action project in our countries. As Jeff said, I am, and also my fellows are part of Peace and Conflict Resolution. And here in Qatar School, I work with the Karina Korostelina on a few projects. Well, when when this experience here in the US is finished, I will come back to Slovakia to implement a community action project. I am still working on some ideas, but my main focus or my main idea is to empower the teacher, and mostly young teacher who just start to work with the students, with the children who come from socially disadvantaged environments or like marginalized communities, with the teachers who start to work in Roma schools. I want to continue working with Teach for Slovakia and with the teachers who will start their leadership program with Teach for Slovakia. I would like to focus mostly on the cultural and social differences and different social norms and strategies and techniques of classroom management in Slovakia. So this is very briefly about me. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karam. I'm from Gaza, from Palestine. I finished my study in 2012. I have a bachelor's degree from business administration from Commerce Al-Azhar University at Gaza. Then I got a diploma in communication for development and start to work with the Palestinian telecommunication company as a marketing officer. Then moved to work with Oriental Palestine as a senior development executive. Then during COVID-19, I made shift career and study project management professional, and I currently work in Angelican Overseas area as a project coordinator for protection for women and children within the project. During my work, I got to know many children and wives who are directly exposed to violence, and this is because the ongoing war in Gaza Strip and the difficult economic conditions. Before I complete, I will take you for a 2-minute trip in my country, in Gaza Strip. I prepare a video for you to see my Gaza Strip, how it's alive in Gaza Strip, and what we need in Gaza Strip. This is our video and our message. The last children in the video, it's Minna. Minna have a dream. She dream if we do not have war in Gaza Strip. This is our children's dream. And during my stay in United States, I live now in host family. And I have a kid friend. He play baseball, and every Wednesday I must go with him to see his match. And his name Max. And I asked Max, "What is your dream, Max?" And he say, "I will be rich from baseball and let my friend organize my company and my money and buy a big house and drink beer in the pool all the day." This is the dream because Max, he has a peace. He have a life with peace, and he have a strong personality because this is the peace for our children. So what should I do here and why I'm here? I will during my fellowship I will develop ideas how to implement activities that prevent violence against children and women in Gaza Strip. Depending on social behavior change communication. And because there are many activities that implement in Gaza Strip and encourage non-use of violence, but the percentage of violence decline relatively slowly because these training are mainly dependent on awareness sessions. So I will develop ideas and activities how to implement social behavior change communication in Gaza Strip to prevent violence against children, against women, and implement my initiative in Gaza Strip in all geographical area in Gaza Strip with the help of local organization and international organization in Gaza Strip. And this is the methodology. It's widely used in the United States and have a significant improvement about children, about their behavior, about change of behavior, because we need to have a peace in our country. Because when we have a peace, we will have a good faith. We will have a strong faith to have a good future This is my practice in here in Carter School. And thanks.
Well, just I wanna share, briefly, I will take some minutes to present myself, the work that I'm doing in Guatemala. Guatemala is located in Central America, in the America continent. And as you can see in my first slide, I am very proud of having my flag because I am representing a country. Today, when I get up early in the morning, I open my eyes and I breathe, but I breathe peace, something that in Guatemala, we can breathe peace. We breathe pollution, corruption, we breathe insecurity, and my country has a lot of conflict. And I'm here and I thank US government for the opportunity to have us here in this amazing place and this amazing school that believes in peace for all the world in the countries, not only here in America, but it's amazing. And I thank this opportunity for being here, the CSP community. I was selected from a pool of 8,000 participants that applied to come here and to be part of this amazing experience. And I was one of the 103 fortunate candidates that are taking part in this special program. My thematic area is about peace and conflict resolution, and I'm gonna tell you why. My first slide is childhood versus adult conflicts. Well, I grew up with my mom, my older brother, and my grandparents. Unfortunately, I had a bad beginning in my early life. My mother was a victim of domestic violence for many years until she got divorced from my father. So I was a little kid having conflicts in my early stage of life. Being on this kind of battlefield early in life prepared me for the next stage of my life, which was harder than the first. Breaking the silence. At the age of 7, I was in the first grade. I remember that I was attending the elementary school. Of course, my mom was very supportive and she was trying to push me to be a peace builder and an agent of change, which eventually I did. But I had to pass into a bad experience when I was a kid, a child. When I attended the elementary school, I became a victim of repeated sexual abuses in the school until 11. Every day I struggled being me and I felt weak, without strength, without voice. I didn't want to eat or go to school, play or talk to anyone. Because of this, I never knew what it meant to be a kid. It wasn't until I was 12 that I realized that I had a voice and I had my family, which was supportive with me. So I decided to break the silence. And I opened my mouth and I reported, and I was in peace with me. And I think that I understood that this important experience was preparing me to become what I'm doing now. I went, of course, into a healing process with psychologists, therapies, and a lot of things like that to help me to understand my role in the society. I gained the ability to move toward a better future. My future, but now that I have my future, I want to share the same future with my community in Guatemala. Advocate for human rights. I decided to become a lawyer to advocate for the human rights of children and adolescents, as well as families and women that doesn't have a voice. And I work in the family law to prevent domestic violence, violence against children and adolescents. I work against the family disintegration due to illegal immigration, abandonment, child custody. And after 7 years of hard study in Guatemala, this goal was achieved. I am now a lawyer certified by the Supreme Court of Guatemala as a lawyer, as a law attorney in notary public. Now I'm ready to work and I'm ready to start making change. So back in 2019, after graduation, I and my father, who was also a lawyer, he passed away at the beginning of 2019 because of the COVID-19. But we both founded a small legal organization, which is Jimenez and Jimenez law firm. This small office is located in Chimaltenango, Guatemala. We work with families, children, and adolescents who are victims of violence. We provide them free legal services, and we prepare them to acquire justice in Guatemala. We also provide them and we facilitate the access to justice by applying mediation and conciliation as alternative ways to resolve conflicts when needed. And talking about my country, I was born in a rural area, which is Chimaltenango. Chimaltenango is a rural town of Guatemala, which is located in the central region of the country. It has a population of about 175,000 as per the 2008 census, where about the 78.2% is Maya descendant and the 68% live in poverty. The Spanish is the official language in Guatemala, but there are also 22 Mayan languages. Cachiquel is spoken in Chimaltenango. So speaking this kind of Mayan language in Chimaltenango in my country in general, it means that many people will never have access to education, justice, because the official language is Spanish. Guatemala in general faces weak governance, endemic corruption, pervasive poverty, food insecurity, severe violence, citizens insecurity, shrinking space for civil society, lack respect for human rights, inequitable access to economic opportunities and social services. These challenges drive, of course, the irregular migration, forced displacement, and contribute to the expansion of transitional criminal organizations. I know that it is a lot, and I know that it's a lot of negative things happening in my country, but we believe and we support education because education is the answer to those problems and to those conflicts. I envision my country, Guatemala, as the peaceful and safest place in the world where the respect for human life is the most important thing ever, as well as the justice, a land that guarantees equal opportunities for all men and women. Education is important, and we can fight corruption, immigration, violence, impunity, corruption, poverty with education. And that is what we're doing in Guatemala. That's what my legal organization is doing as well. About why I'm here, and I think Professor Antti Penttinen, who's from Finland, and he's in Finland right now, and also I think Eduardo Gonzalez, a professor from Peru. I'm working here in the Mary Hoch Center for Reconciliation, and I think that it was the first or the second week being here that I attended the IREX, which is the World Conference on Reconciliation here in Washington, D.C., which I learned a lot of people who's expert in the field. Currently, I'm working with the Mary Hoch Center for Reconciliation on mapping involvement needs of migrants and refugees with a Latino background. We are also working on research about the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions in Guatemala, Colombia, and Libya. My community action plan, which is CAP, I'm thinking about implementing a community parenting school for children and families, teaching dialogue, teaching peace, teaching human rights and enforcement, the community to have access to justice. So I really thank you for your time, and that's a really short presentation about my work. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yonathan. I'm from Gaza, Palestine. This is us in Grand Haya. This is like the ending of the 5-day orientation sessions in Grand Haya. And here am I don't know, but you can see. And there's Simona and Niamat. Working. Who am I? I'm a fellow. I'm from Gaza. I'm a woman from Gaza. So I'm a privileged woman. I need to acknowledge that I'm a privileged woman for 2 reasons. Because I have got the chance to travel to the US as a woman. Like I'm the first one to go to the US from my family. And it was like just hard for me. I know it would be hard, like to tell my parents that, oh, I want to go to the US. And he was like, yeah, go. I was like, what? Am I going to the US? I thought it would be like challenging. And then like he told me, no, keep it a secret. Don't tell your relatives. And I was like, okay, I know it would be challenging for me to tell them, because this is my first, like the first woman to travel abroad, and not to neighboring countries, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, but to the US, all the way to the US. I'm a privileged woman also because I've got the chance to travel to the US and learn from professionals in the US. Why I'm traveling to the US? Because I've been selected as a Peace Fellow to 2022 with the US Department of State, funded by the US Department of State, and then it is by IREX Community Solutions program, which is like a very prestigious fellowship to go and travel and have fun, and also learning from Carter School. This is like the most important thing to me. About CSP, like they already discussed a lot of thank Jeff. He discussed like about he introduced you to the CSP program. So briefly, it is like a fellowship, and it has 4 thematic areas that I'm going to mention later. What do I work? First of all, in 2017, before Meet Gaza, there was a report, an investigative one, by a women journalist called Huda Baroud. She was talking about, like, she was investigating that there are 23 women and girls from Gaza Strip who got harassed and raped by male relatives, mainly in the first place, like fathers and brothers. So after that, like in 2018, March, I have decided that we need to do something. it wasn't like openly talking about me to Gaza, but because we were anonymous, we were afraid that one can go after us and tell the government that, these are women who need to dismantle the society. We need to dismantle the society. So the goal of this is to raise awareness against sexual harassment and rape in the Palestinian context, in the Gazan one, as a conservative society. So the activities we have started by raising awareness, like it was literally raising awareness against sexual harassment first. We needed to tell them where is like sexual harassment, because it was kind of a taboo, it was literally a taboo in Gaza. So we started like giving women and also men. It was like we included men, because I know even if it was harder for men to talk about that they have been sexually harassed. That's it. Like it's stayed for almost like 2 years, but yes. UN Women's Regional Office, like in 2021, yeah. I have been selected as a Peacebuilder woman from among 50 women from the Arab world, like MENA region, Middle East and North Africa, from conflict and conflict affected area and after conflict affected areas. To study about like mediation, reconciliation, and transitional justice in the Arab world. Rosa Luxemburg Regional Office, this is like my office. Like, this is Young Women Peacebuilder, and this is my office. It's like, it dates back to 400 years ago. It is a Lipson house in Gaza. This is my office. So I work as a project coordinator at Rosa Luxemburg. It is a German institute. And we have, it is mainly about women and for women. In the first stages, it was private for women, like to talk about with women about taboos, LGBTQ community, women issues, sexual harassment, rape, progressive issues that we didn't have a chance to talk about before. And then public, we have exhibitions about the daily life of Gaza and about the struggles that Gazan people have to go through on their daily life. And then men, because we felt it wouldn't be appropriate to talk to women, to discuss women issue without including men, because we needed to bridge the gap, not to widen us, not to widen the gap between men and women. So that's it. Why? Why was I forgot to why? Okay. Why mathematics area? Because as mentioned, I live in Gaza Strip. I have been through a lot of different struggles and challenges that it was hard, it was never easy. As in 2000, my aunt was killed by Israel military forces. And 2008, 2012, 2014, and 2021.
2022.
2022, when we were at Grand Haya, there was another war, like 5 wars. And there's in between also. Yes. And then in 2006, there was the internal political division between 2 political parties, Hamas and Fatah, and inside the Palestinian society. So why did I choose the thematic area, conflict resolution, and peace and conflict resolution? Because of all these unlovely events that shaped me and also my career. So my practicum with Carter School Resource Center, first collecting like and creating resources and data, and then like cases, 10 cases. It is a big amount of cases. I know after like starting working and then I knew that it would be a lot of work, but I love that. For Carter School Resource Center of what works, what doesn't work, what works, what doesn't work in the Palestinian conflict or in the Palestinian occupation conflict, and efforts to prevent and end violence and armed conflict. And second, conduct research and search for resources of example of conflict prevention and ending war. And then create a planning document that will provide insights on my CAP, Community Action Project, back home when I go home. What's home? Yeah. Not the home in Fairfax, but the home in Beach Camp, because I am an internally displaced refugee from Beach Camp, which is one of the most densely populated camps and the biggest open air prison, which is called Gaza. So the skills and I intend to have leadership. Actually, I'm a leader. Yeah, I'd like to point that leadership is about empathy and sympathy also with people who have never been in their situation, and also for people I have been in their situation and I have been through a lot. Networking, not also with charter school, which is like the most important thing, but also with other fellows from around the world, because it gives me like, I don't want to talk on behalf of anyone, but it gives me like insight on their lifestyle, insight on their conflict, insight on their issues they are tackling in their societies. And research writing skill, like this is so challenging for me because I love it at the same time, like I find some difficulties writing research, so that it is like a great opportunity for me to learn from charter school. My plan upon going back home, not the one in Fairfax, this is the one in Fairfax with the pool I've never like got the chance to swim in. And this is beach camp, like it is the most, like one of the most densely populated. I think it's the second most densely populated camp in Gaza Strip. So this is funny. My community action project is to complete with Rosa Luxemburg, which is a German institute, and why do I need to complete with them? First, they pay me well, and second, because I need to have this network of progressive women to help me achieving my project and give sessions for a lot of practitioners, inclusively women, about leadership skills, dialogue skills through activities and Gaza Strip, and also to include youth and men to fully understand conflict management from women perspective, because like a lot of women, like it's not a lot of women, but like few women are included in the decision-making process, so we need more women to be in the quota system, and so that we can call it like an inclusive decision-making process, because without women, without the women perspective on different issues, it's never an inclusive or transparent decision-making process. So, and then to continue with Rosa, and to give sessions about leadership, this is like I mentioned before. And this is us. It was like in the facility of George Mason University. We were discussing what we were discussing, and this is me with the headband. And the last word that I need to say is salam. It's like the literal meaning of bye in Arabic, and it means peace.
I hope you can hear me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, how are you?
Good.
Okay, maybe we already heard 4 presentations, so on the 5th presentation, I will try to energize you. So I just want to say again, good morning, and I would expect you all to say good morning, right? Good morning.
Good morning.
That's great. This is Niamat, and I'm going to present today. I feel honor and pleasure that I'm going to present for the fall 2022 Peace Week, the Rethinking Peace in 2020 and beyond. So it's such an honor that I'm presenting in a US university, so I came from Bangladesh. I work for the SDG Goal 16. So you all know about the IREX Fellowship. I just want to say some words about the IREX Fellowship, IREX or Community Solution Program. It is sponsored by the US Department of State. So we find placed at the George Mason University. We're working with different 3 centers. I work with the Better Evidence Project. So the Community Solution Program is a 4 months long practicum in US, and after that we will come back to our country and we will implement the Community Action Project, which we call CAP. It's basically a 1-year fellowship. So you can see some of the beautiful picture that I'm placed at the George Mason University. We are having some fun time with the professors and dean at the point of view. And also you can see a picture of the fellows who are come from the South Asian country. So you can see that, as Jonathan said, Jonathan is a lawyer. I also personally am a lawyer. I work as a legal officer at Bangladesh University of Professionals. Also, I'm an advocate of Bangladesh Bar Council. I am licensed advocate in Bangladesh. So besides my professional job, I feel proud to inform you that I'm working as a lead of curriculum and project development can you please, okay. So I'm working as a lead of curriculum training and project development at SARS Bangladesh. SARS Bangladesh is a local NGO. They're working for making peace in the community level. And also I'm working as a trainer of Peacebuilding at Peacemaker Studio. They're the official partner of UNDP. You can see that I'm taking some of the session. I feel honored to introduce me as a community peace builder in the community level. So my role is I'm working as a trainer and also curriculum developer. So my motivation towards peace building, I want all of your attention to tell you a story. So I have a very close college junior of mine. So we were singing together, we were having fun, we were traveling together. And when I was in university, I don't have that much communication with my college junior. And once I was reading a newspaper in my library, I saw news in a daily newspaper that that junior jet in a police operation as a suspected terrorist. After that, I got shocked. I couldn't control my fear. So after that, I felt that I need to do something so that the next generation, the next friends, the next people who are dreaming the peaceful Bangladesh, they are not influencing in extremism or terrorism or any of the intolerance activities. After that, I personally wanted to work for the peace building or to promote peace, to promote tolerance in the social media and also in the community level. So this was my motivation, which helped me to work for peace building. So I found a problem in Bangladesh. You can see the spread of extremism, hate speech, and radicalism online sears through the nation, creating segregation and intolerance among the real people in Bangladesh. I want to share some of the statistics. One is in 2021, 69 violent attacks took place in Bangladesh, including 10 districts on the Hindus community on their religious ceremony, which called Durga Puja, claimed 11 lives along with destruction of 107 Hindu temples and 237 Hindu households and shops. So it is a common thing when the puja came. Like now this is September. In the October 1st week there is a puja. So when the puja of any other minority religious they're going to enjoy or perform their religion, they face this type of extremism or this type of activities in Bangladesh. I don't know why. We are just trying to find out. The second example, you can see that there have been 6 major terrorist attacks in Bangladesh. Example, Holy Artisan attack in 2016. The Holy Artisan attack, 24 people killed, including the national and the foreign citizen as well. So you all know about the IS, right? So IS, so that attack also done by the IS in 2016. So it has been comes from a research that 20% of the suicide bombers and terrorists are at the age of 15 to 80. That's why I'm working with the youth peacekeeping to build peace among the youth. So the sources are collected from the Bangladesh Peace Observatory. They are the official research partner of UNDP Bangladesh and also Dhaka Metropolitan Police and Bangladesh Institute of Peace, Strategy and Study. So I collect those resources from these 3 sources. So my peacebuilding activity, I want to tell you a little bit about my activity, my impact, what I'm doing in Bangladesh. So before my professional job at Bangladesh University Professional, I worked as a lead instructor of PENS project at Bangladesh Youth Leadership Center. Bangladesh Youth Leadership Center is the first leadership institute in Bangladesh who developed their model at the Harvard University. The Harvard graduate, they developed this model and they implemented, they started the Bangladesh Youth Leadership Center in 2009. So I have taken 192 sessions in 18 training. I trained 950 students from madrasa and university. Madrasa means there are some students who are reading the Arabic medium and also the general medium in a school. So they call this madrasa. You can call this as a religious study, also the general study. And there are also some university students. So we try to make them building a bridge to train them for preventing violence, extremism, peace building, tolerance, and leadership. So trainees went to their community and they implemented 20 projects, and their work impacted to 2,000 people in the community level. So you can see some of my picture that when I was taking the session in different trainings, it was a great experience for me to represent BYLC as well. So after that, I started to work as a lead of curriculum training and project development at SARS Bangladesh as a trainer also at the Peacebuilding studio. So here I already taken 60 sessions.
And I implemented 5 peace building training. I trained 250 students in different religion and different ethnic minorities and the common people in Bangladesh, so that they can come to prevent violence, extremism, they can build peace, and they can be tolerant to each other in social media and the community level. So from this training, I monitored 25 community projects which impacted to 2,500 people. So they were promoting tolerance, respect in social media through the very amazing contents and some awareness campaign, and also towards the religious and ethnic minorities. We want to include them in the system. So you can see some of the picture and some of the training, some of the community work on the slide. So this is my home organization, which is called SARJ Bangladesh. SARJ Bangladesh is working as a non-profit organization with aim of promoting peace, reducing extremism, and also preventing violence, extremism. They're working since 2016 to promote some of the training, community project, awareness campaign, skill development training, social media content by focusing on SDG goal 10 and 16. So they have executive members, 21, and we have 200 volunteers. We have 3 regional teams in 3 districts: Chattogram, Rangamati, and Cox's Bazar. We're also trying to explore in other Chittagong Hilltracks and in other team in the indigenous communities. Our working area is basically in Chittagong Hilltracks with the indigenous community, religious minorities, and ethnic minorities as well. So you can see the impact. The SARJ already conducted 80 program. They promoted 17 video content in social media. So they reached 10,000 beneficiaries, and we reached through social media. You can see that there we also promote some of the visual content in online. So people are taking positively. Sometimes they comment some of the hate comments in the social media we are getting. So we already released 10 plus videos to make the society tolerant and peaceful and inclusive, and we reached 2 million views. It's a huge for a local NGO, right? And we engage 50,000 social media audience in online. So for our peace building work, we got three very significant awards that I got chance to represent SARJ Bangladesh. So we got the Startup Award from the Youth Collab National Round from the UNDP for our peaceful content and trainings. Secondly, we got the runner-up award from also the UNDP. They have a very great program which is called Digital Kitchen Talent. It's basically an idea competition for our peace building training, and we got EMP Center, a small grant. You know about the Edward M. Kennedy Center. They are the official partner of US Embassy in Bangladesh. So we come up with an idea to promote peace and to detect fake news, to counter disinformation, misinformation. So that's why we got this award. Okay, so you can see the art picture. So now come to fellowship at Carter School. So what I'm doing with Carter School, I'm trying to make case studies and collecting evidence from Carter School Resource Center. Also, I'm trying to, as Jeff said, that I'm going to make a planning document for establish a peace center in Bangladesh with the support from Carter School. So I want to make more collaboration with Carter School in future when I will back my country. Also, I'm going to connect with 10 peace building organizations for Carter School Evidence to Action for Peace initiative. I also want to redesign the peace building training curriculum and module for better implementation to make my country peaceful and tolerant. Because as the dean said that there are actually scope to add some of the amazing curriculum in my my current curriculum, which is called peace building training. So I'm going to redesign this curriculum as well. The community action project, when I will back in my country, I want to present the community action project, which I named already, which called Baptize, Project Baptize. The Baptize means advocacy for peace through the inclusion of young students. So I will try to establish a peace center within 2023 or 2024 with the collaboration of Carter School, also my regional organization, SARJ Bangladesh, and other INGO and NGO in Bangladesh. I will try to implement peace building training with redesigned curriculum, as I already mentioned. I also want to implement an interactive seminar with including the community leader, religious leader, police, academician, to make some of the very good recommendation for the policymakers, so that we, the youth, are thinking based of the policies, so you can incorporate these policies in your academy or in your government project, right? So we want to publish 3 very interactive visual content in social media, which we want to reach 50,000 social media users, so that in social media, in Bangladesh, there are densely populated country, as so many people are using social media. So we also have idea to reach the social media youths and audience as well. So this is my CAP project. So my future plan, so as I said in CAP project, I want to establish a peace center. I want to operate in 10 more districts, Search Bangladesh. We want to operate in 10 more districts in Bangladesh. We will promote regular video content in social media for countering hate speech and intolerance and extremism and terrorism. We will make more partnership with national and international organizations. So for achieving those future plan and amazing works, we need your suggestion, your partnership. So here you can see my email. You can write my email for any possible collaboration or something like that. You can see our Facebook page. Search is very active in Facebook page, and we have very good audience who are following Search Bangladesh, our videos as well. So you can follow the Facebook link as well. So again, I envision a peaceful and tolerant world where conflicts and wars no longer exist. I got this vision. I don't have any idea about this vision when I'm working at my country. But Professor Dr. Deidre Combs, they are our leadership coach at Community Solution Program, the Community Leadership Institute, CLI. She trained us through a module which called Overview the Vision. So when I was thinking, what is my vision? What I'm envisioned for? I got this vision after thinking 3 days that I want a peaceful and tolerant world where conflicts and war no longer exist. So I want you the support for envision this goal and to achieve this goal. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. So we just have maybe a minute or two, and you guys have done a great job of staying within the time limit, but we have some tough challenges that ate up a little bit of time. Any questions? You can take 1 or 2 questions. Anybody wants to ask any of the fellows? Professor Mitchell.
Okay, not a question to begin with, but I just wanted to say I'm immensely impressed by all of the work that you're doing with the planning. I only hope that you can find something useful here while you're here, so we can help you. I do have one question. I think it's mainly for Simona, which, but it also, I think, has sort of implications for Jonathan and everybody else. What's the teacher training system for that? Is there any possibility for Roma or Roma speaking students go through that particular training and end up in schools where Roman is the only language? Is that a possibility or not?
No, at the moment there is not even like Roma curriculum, you know, like there are no Roma schools, you know, like even though many of the schools are segregated and they are just for Roma children, but cannot say that, you know, officially because of the European Union laws and everything. But there are like zero at the moment, like zero school trainings. If like any person who has Roma background or who is Roma finishes his or her education, they can get some training at the university, like for especially for Roma teaching assistants. It's like it's 2 years long program, I think maybe 3, and then they can work at like at schools, you know, helping for that. So it's.
I'd like to have a look at some of the policies which the Welsh Assembly has actually implemented for education in Wales. It's very small, but I think even smaller in Slovakia. But there is a strong movement for the revival of Welsh as a local language. Schools teaching the facts of bilingualism.
Thank you.
Just to add to that, I think, and this is relevant to all of you, and that is, there are some wonderful examples of how with such training programs did not exist officially, they weren't even possible, that pilot programs where small organizations started something, in many cases, they then became adapted officially as they were more fully developed. And that has been the case around education and teacher training. And so don't be put off by starting small and sort of creating what we might call sort of a proof of concept, meaning showing that something works. And when it works, then those empowered authority want to grab onto that, sometimes in a negative way. Yeah, but there are, particularly in the field of education, some really interesting examples. I think Professor Mitchell talks about the bilingual one, but there are others in which the curriculum we see today started by a pilot project by the kinds of work that all of you are doing. So that's and that's part of what we in the Carter School can potentially help you with, not only identifying possible cases or examples, but then providing support going forward. Well, thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you all for your presentations. This has been recorded. It will be available to be viewed or sent out to others if you would like them to see it. And we will have other opportunities over the next 2.5 months to engage with our fellows and to promote their work. So thank you all very much, and thank you for your.
For ending, I just have one thing. Some of my team members joined through the Zoom link. Can you guys hear me? Show off. From Sarge, Bangladesh, you guys are hearing me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Janatul Mawa, Shourab, Rahmatullah. So I just want to acknowledge you that they joined. In Bangladesh, there is night, so they just want to see the presentation, the work that we presented. So thank you for on behalf of Carter School. Do you want to say something?
Well, thank you, and for staying up late to hear us and to learn from your colleague and the others. So thank you very much. Great.
Thank you.